Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the backstory. If you're new here, kindly hit the subscribe button and the notification bell down below so that you can be notified when we post a new video. Now, ladies and gentlemen, there is a Swahili saying that goes that akufukuzae hakwambii toka, which loosely translates as do not wait until you are told. If you're not welcome somewhere, just stay away. Do not wait until you are told. If you're not welcome, just stay away. So I think that is the current situation of Kenya's Attorney General, Justin MUTURI. It's like there are people within Kenya Kwanza administration who would want him to resign or leave by all means possible. And why am I saying so? It's because the Attorney General, who is the chief legal advisor of the government, seems to be fighting a lot of wars within the government that he serves. This is quite unique. Just 3 days ago, the Attorney General himself appeared before JLAC, which is the Justice and Legal Affairs Committee, which is a parliamentary committee, where he complained on how his office was being sabotaged by PSC, and then there are other guys with the government who are taking bills to parliament without the input of his office.
Appointed by the Public Service Commission to the level of Senior Deputy Solicitor General. The current Chief of Staff in the office of the Deputy President is a Senior Deputy Solicitor General. I'm making my case why it is important for me to delink from the Public Service Commission, and this committee and Parliament could agree with me. Give me a board. It is not just in MUTURI to see that. I'm not interested to appoint anybody, but a board so as to serve everybody fairly. The Office of the Attorney General Act has not been operationalized. That, I think, maybe in a sense, I would want to say that this is what pushed me into looking at why are staff exiting in such large numbers. And I looked at this. I said, look. Even when I make, I say we want to appoint a state council to go and work in some ministry, sometimes you hear Public Service Commission saying, no, that's our work. We are the ones who deal with the civil servant.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that is the Attorney General, Justin MUTURI, complaining that decisions concerning his docket, like appointment of senior officials within his docket, and bills are also being taken, or bills are finding their way to Parliament without his approval or input. So the interference that he's talking about is coming from the Public Service Commission. So Public Service Commission is like the employer, the commission that employs all civil servants within government. What the Attorney General was watching for is a way in which they can make his office independent by coming up with a board that will ensure that the employments are done on time and all that. So apparently, the Public Service Commission has been transferring some of the senior officials within the Attorney General's office to other departments within the government. And there are also rumors that some of employees within the Attorney General's office have also been poached by the Parliamentary Service Commission, which is Wetangula's docket. Now, that is one office. Then the second office that the Attorney General has been fighting wars with is the office of the Majority Leader in Parliament. That is Kimani Ichung'wah's office. So apparently, some of the bills that have made their way to Parliament without the Attorney General's input have been taken there through Kimani Ichung'wah's office. And one of the bills was the housing levy, which the Attorney General himself said that was kind of unconstitutional in the way it was framed in Parliament.
We did note that just after the memorandum of objects and reasons, the leader of majority, who is the sponsor of the bill, has indicated that this bill does not concern counties. I think we'll be cheating ourselves to say that the bill does not concern counties. There is no harm in the bill being processed as it is being processed in the National Assembly, and then finally there'll be an input from the Senate If they think there's something, they can still come back to this committee in a mediation, in a form of mediation. Should they introduce conflicting provisions that the National Assembly may not be in agreement with?
Now, the third office that has now come out to be fighting the Attorney General's office is the office of the advisor to the President on security matters. That is Monica Juma's office. Today, in the Star newspaper, they have quoted Monica Juma as telling off the Attorney General, or contradicting him by telling him that those bills originated from his office. So what does that tell you? It tells you that the Attorney General, some of these bills that are being done without his input, but with members of his office input. So it means that there are people within the Kenya Kwanza administration who are sidelining the Attorney General. And do you think they're doing it just for the sake of it? It is by design. It's like they want to frustrate the Attorney General so that he can step aside. Because imagine a situation whereby you're the head of an office, then there are your junior staff who are being roped in to craft bills. Then you're not given any information about it. You just hear about them in the media or in parliament. So I think whatever is happening here is by design. And the ultimate price here that these people want the Attorney General to pay is for him to resign so that someone else can come in. And there are a lot of interests within the Kenya Kwanza administration. There are people within Kenya Kwanza administration who feel like the Attorney General is not competent enough to be advising the Kenya Kwanza administration. Then secondly, there are people who are also interested in that office. And third is the fact that they would want to water down the Attorney General's office so that some of his roles are taken up by someone like the head of public service. Then others can also be delegated to the Solicitor General and all that, so that the Attorney General's office become weak. Then the fourth issue is the fact that there are people who would want to see the Attorney General out so that they can bring in someone who they feel can play ball. Now, there are people within the Kenya Kwanza administration who would want to borrow from the former President Uhuru Kenyatta. When Uhuru Kenyatta became uncomfortable with Githu Muigai, because Githu Muigai wanted Uhuru Kenyatta to follow the law when coming up with bills or when doing some things within government, Uhuru Kenyatta felt uncomfortable with Githu Muigai and he was forced to resign so that Judge Paul Kihara Kariuki, that's his name, Judge Paul Kihara Kariuki was appointed as the Attorney General. So they want an Attorney General who is not powerful, someone who can play ball, someone who can try and play around with the law so as to suit what the Kenya Kwanza administration wants. And then there's also this factor whereby the Kenya Kwanza administration some people within the Kenya Kwanza administration think that there are some things that they need to do, but the law comes like a hindrance. So they want to circumvent the constitution and the law so as to achieve their goals. And that is why they want someone who can try and help them circumvent the law and the constitution to achieve their political goals. The last factor is the fact that Attorney General MUTURI is viewed within the Kenya Kwanza administration as a sympathizer to the former President Uhuru Kenyatta. So they'd want him out of the scene so that they get someone who they feel can serve William Ruto without any compromise. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's my belief, after analyzing all this, it's my belief that Justin MUTURI will be forced to resign by the Kenya Kwanza administration. He will be forced to resign, or he will be frustrated to a point that he will just resign on his own. And it has started. You know, when he's being bombarded with a lot of questions, with frustrations left, left, right, and center, he will be seen as someone who is incompetent, who cannot deliver, and he will be forced to resign. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is it from us today. Until next time, bye bye.